And welcome to the Jameel Rawls Show. And what we're going over is we're going over ancient intelligence. And ancient intelligence is something I just started really analyzing myself in the last 24 hours. Now, previously we were talking about parapsychology and what was it? Forensic psychology. Now, actually, we were talking about forensic parapsychology, which I've never heard anybody speak on it in that way, but we were talking about the investigation of a crime or an event using psychic power parapsychology. Now we're going to look into the ancient past using intuitive ability and whatnot. So, in the last 20, 30 minutes, I was watching a video about Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz, I hope I pronounced that right, calculus, and it made me really think. I looked into calculus a few months ago, and I was studying, I was researching it, and I was trying to think of a practical way I could use calculus. Like, how do you calculate how much cigarette smoke is in a room? That's how you use calculus. Or say there's an airplane, and you can come up with a little cool math equation. You can say you have an airplane, and you have X amount of birds in the airplane. Now, if the birds are flying, is there still weight on the airplane? Are they still weighing down the airplane if they're flying while the airplane is in motion? Now, something like that takes calculus. But I had to think, how can somebody like Isaac Newton have invented that when you have all these ancient civilizations going back thousands of years? I was looking at the pyramids, and I was thinking, what language did they use to build the pyramids? This is a very practical question that I really don't hear Egyptologists talking about, or I really don't hear anybody talking about it. And you see pyramids everywhere. There's even a pyramid on the dollar bill. What language was used to build the pyramids? You cannot build a pyramid using hieroglyphs. You're never going to be able to build a pyramid using pictures. You're going to need sophisticated mathematics to build the pyramid, the Giza pyramids. And the Giza pyramids are aligned with the stars. Matter of fact, let me look at this photograph. Mercury, Venus, and Saturn above the pyramids of Giza, Egypt. This occurs once every 2,373 years. So you mean to tell me some people, thousands of years ago built the Giza pyramids using pictures, drawings, and etchings? Hieroglyphs? I don't believe that. So there has to have been a medium to construct these pyramids. And, mathematics were at play. Sophisticated mathematics, but what was the language used? Then, recently, I was looking at the History Channel, and you saw that there's pyramids all over the world. You can look to the Incas, the Aztecs, the Mayas. They inhabited the pyramids, such as the ancient Egyptians. The pharaohs inhabited the pyramids, but did the Incas, Mayas, and Aztecs really build the pyramids? Such as did the pharaohs really build the pyramids? Seems to me somebody else constructed these pyramids because they're aligned with each other. Matter of fact, where there's one pyramid on one side of the world, there will be a pyramid completely on the other side of the world. And this gets into what is known as planetary history. Now, historically, these are known as ley lines, energy points, on the Earth's surface as you go around the planet. As you rotate around the planet, there's ley lines, energy points. And so there's usually civilizations and pyramids and stuff built directly on these energy points. They're also called dragon lines. Okay. You know what? Speaking of Egypt, you know how you have the Sphinx? A lot of people have said that the Sphinx actually is not a cat or a lion, but is a dog. They're saying that Sphinx represents Anubis, the wolf god. And it is a wolf. They didn't have jackals at that time in Egypt, not in that area. of the Nile. I'm familiar with that because I was recently studying wolf mythology with Anubis, Anubis, and then Hermanubis, and then some older ancient Egyptian and African wolf gods. But Anubis is considered the Anubis was considered the protector of the mysteries, and you have Sirius, the dog star, and Sirius was very, very significant to the ancient Egyptians. So I think the Sphinx actually is a dog. To be honest with you. So that's one of the things that I get into with a lot of Egyptologists about. The Sphinx wasn't a cat. But a dog. And so I'm looking for pictures. I can't find an accurate one. So yeah, the Sphinx is actually a representation of Anubis and not a cat. Anyway, going back, I got off topic. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. That's interesting because the Dogon tribe in Africa knows about, but they have a Sirius A and B for their calendar. Let me pull that up too. I just think, how does a tribe in Africa? They knew that Sirius, there was a Sirius A and B before NASA, before there even was a NASA. So my thing is on the pyramids around the planet. I think these pyramids were laid out by the same people, or these people originated from a similar group. And this is planetary history. Every human should know this. But I mean, anybody who goes to school should know this stuff. But okay, then I was looking at these stones in Panama, these gigantic spheric balls. And a while back, on my site, Metaphysical Consultant, I started sketching one of them. It looked something like this. It was just a ball, a spheric stone. And I didn't know why I was sketching it. And then the more I sketched it, I came across these gigantic spheric stones. And I'd be studying them, and I'd be thinking, who put these here? And how did they move these things? And they had to have some sort of really advanced technology to move these structures around. And, I don't see them using cranes and manpower to do it. And that's retro. That's retrocognition, looking into the past to see. We're looking at pyramids. Hey, these pyramids weren't built using hieroglyphics. The pyramids that the Aztecs, the Mayas, and the Incas inhabited, I don't believe they built them using the hieroglyphics they had. Obviously, whoever built these had sophisticated mathematic capabilities. All these pyramid systems are aligned with the stars, like the Draco constellation is aligned with the Cambodian Angora. So whoever created these used a similar system, similar mathematical system, and a similar system of setting them up. And they're all aligned with the stars. That's some spooky stuff. When you really get into it, that's some paranormal stuff right there. I'm a little bit worried about speed. I have my own interpretation exactly how these pyramids were built, but I'm a little bit iffy about speaking about it on the internet. I don't think I want to speak about it on the internet. But that's ancient intelligence. Then you got to think about, you got pyramids at the bottom of the ocean too. Who built those? And then currently I'm studying microbiology. I'm trying to come up with a use for I guess I could have went with microbiology. I guess I could have went with forensic microbiology. There's a microbiological clock for a creature. Like in pathology, if a creature, say a dog or a cat dies, you can determine how long the creature's been dead. But I don't think I think I want to stick. I don't want to get too deep into the forensic psychology stuff. I think I want to get to more mainstream science. But there's a guy, he got some good presentations. He's going on, what is he going on? Yeah, all microbiology is just exactly what you can't see with the naked eye. A few hundred years ago, sometime in the past, a couple hundred years ago, 200-300 years ago, I guess, if you would have told somebody that there's living creatures on the tip of their finger, but they couldn't see it, they might say you were crazy. And then somebody invented a microscope, and now you can see these creatures. You can look at viruses, fungi, worms, algae, whatever you want. And then my explanation of getting information intuitively isn't as complex as what it may seem. You have the planet, and then you have humans on the planet, and then there's a planetary consciousness of a collection of humans. And a lot of people who investigate extrasensory perception have come to the same conclusion. You have an etheric realm around you that through electromagnetic frequency we all connect. And that's how, if you know somebody really well and you think about them, and then right after you think about them, they call you, you sense that energy coming in before it came in. This gets into a little bit like the Akashic Records, how there's a Akashic Record for all the events that go on within time and space. But I just can't. That's the one thing about Egyptology. I just don't see. No, nobody built pyramids using pictures of dogs and Egyptian hieroglyphs. They got pictures of dogs and cats and stuff like that. How do you build? How do you construct? How do you construct features like that using dogs and cats and pictures of birds and trees and stuff? That doesn't make it doesn't make any sense. You know, they're the same people that. That's one of the conclusions I've come to. It's the same people that put all this stuff together. Because all these pyramids look the same. The pyramids in Cambodia, the pyramids in Guatemala. Then you got the Bosnian pyramids. And then all these a lot of these civilizations had knowledge of the solar system, as in you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So these civilizations knew about these planets in our solar system. It has 9 planets. I think Mars has two. What's Mars' moons? Numos and Phobos, I think. I can't remember. Mars has 2 moons. I just don't see it any other way, because I was looking at Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and the Ancient Alien presentations on the History Channel are basically stating the same thing I'm stating, but at the same time, when it comes to these pyramids, they're not really elaborating on how they were constructed. It's like the same people created them all over the planet. But then as they created them all over the planet, the different populations around the planet inhabited them differently in their own language. Like me and a few people get together and create houses, create a few houses across the planet. Then we bring a select group to each house, and they have their own culture. It's like the same ET people built all this stuff and then brought a different group from each part of the planet into it. It's like all the condos look the same that we built, but they were just built in different places. So the people look different compared to the place. I think somebody has to be, I don't want to say psychologically inferior, But you would have to be really, really, really naive, or you would. I mean, I hate to say it, but you would have to be downright stupid to sit here and look at thousands and thousands of year old structures, galactically connected to star systems, built with advanced, sophisticated mathematics, and then sit there and say a bunch of people who lived in caves did it. Obviously, people had some help doing this stuff. And that's ancient intelligence on the Jameel